Hi, this is Sally. I am a staff librarian at the Newburyport Public Library. Today I am talking about some of my favorite books and authors in the genre of medical biographies. This talk is more a list of recommendations than a review, as there are a lot of good books in this genre and I don't have time to discuss them all. Recommended titles are in the description. Asterisks denote books available in Libby and Overdrive in Massachusetts as of May of 2020. Specifically, I am discussing books written by people in the medical profession about their experiences working in the field. All of these books are popular nonfiction written for a general or lay audience, and they are a compilation of stories or experiences, not books about any specific disease. This is part 2 of this talk, where I will cover books by and about surgeons, doctors writing about their own illnesses, doctors working at Bellevue Hospital in New York City, medical ethicists, morticians and medical examiners, paramedics and flight nurses, and other compilations of stories by doctors working with various patient populations. I will also discuss how to find medical books by subject in Libby and Overdrive. Check out part 1 of this talk on our YouTube channel to get my recommendations for books by prolific physician authors, books about medical and nursing school and residency, and books by pediatricians and ER doctors. Medical professionals are front and center during the pandemic, so if you've ever wondered how one becomes a doctor or nurse, or what goes on behind the scene, these books may be of interest. This is one of my favorite genres, and I have a lot to recommend. So let's get started. The books in the next 2 slides are written by surgeons. They are books about surgical residency and training, specialty-focused books about trauma surgery, neurosurgery, and organ transplantation. The publication dates range from the 1980s to 2019, and some of the books address the history of surgery and medicine. My favorites from this batch include Many Sleepless Nights, The World of Organ Transplantation by Lee Gutkind, and the 2 books by Michael J. Collins. Dr. Collins was a day laborer with no science background when he decided he wanted to become a surgeon. His book, Blue Collar, Blue Scrubs, The Making of a Surgeon, chronicles his journey through getting his prerequisites and college degree while working in construction, and follows him through medical school and residency. This is a book that shows that it is never too late to change the course of your life. This next slide is a list of great books written by doctors who have dealt with the medical profession from the patient point of view. They write about their own illnesses and those of close family members, and what they learned as a result of their experiences. My favorites in this batch are In Shock by Rana Adish, who had massive months-long complications and almost died during her pregnancy with her first child, and When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi, who was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer while in his 6th year of residency in neurosurgery. This slide involves books from specialties not already discussed. They're all great, but my favorites are The Shift, which follows Nurse Teresa Brown through one 12-hour shift on a critical care floor, and That Good Night, the story of Sunitra Puri, a palliative care physician working with seriously ill patients, many of them in hospice. This slide includes books about epidemiology and medical mysteries. Burton Ruchet's book, The Medical Detectives, is older, but it is full of fascinating stories, health mysteries, and epidemiological detective work from the beginning of the 20th century to the 1970s. It is a classic well worth reading. This slide shows books written by doctors working at Bellevue Hospital in New York City. Bellevue is the oldest public hospital in the country. It is a safety net hospital which provides health care for anyone regardless of their ability to pay. It has a prison ward, separate emergency rooms for pediatrics, adults, and psychiatry, and a lot of interesting stories. This slide includes books by a flight nurse and some EMTs and paramedics. Most of the stories are contemporary, but Mike Scardino's book, Bad Call, A Summer Job on a New York Ambulance, takes place in the 1960s. This slide is all about what happens after you die. It includes books by Dr. Jan Garavaglia of the TV show Dr. G Medical Examiner, and a book by web personality, blogger, and mortician Caitlin Doty, and several other medical examiners and legal investigators. This slide includes books on medical ethics. These books address specific cases of ethical dilemmas in hospitals and follows ethics committees and doctors as they encounter ambiguous issues. End-of-life care and healthcare rationing in emergencies are also discussed in some of the books. This bonus slide is a list of doctors who've written fiction books. I'm an especially big fan of Robert Cook and Eric Segal. Their books are older, but they include many great stories. And while Patricia Cornwell isn't a doctor, I could not leave without giving a shout out to my absolute favorite fictional doctor, medical examiner Case Scarpetta. The Scarpetta books are amazing and well researched, and though I couldn't find a way to include them in this talk, I just had to mention them. The first book is Postmortem. To look for medical talks in Libby, or medical books in Libby, you can either do a keyword search or go to a known book, such as Being Mortal. Click on the book and go to the bottom of the description. You can then click on the category marked Medical, and all of the medical books in the consortium will come up. For assistance accessing items through Libby and Overdrive, you can see our YouTube tutorials. Give us a call at 978-465-4428 or email us at info@newburyportpl.org.